What's going on, guys? So we're back here today. We got the EJ all set up, got it all put together with these helpful hands, and yeah, it's time to get it sitting over there instead of over here. So just getting every little thing buttoned up. I slapped the intake on. We connected all the little wires and whatnot. Probably have the wiring harness routed a little janky. We'll find that out when it gets in the car. But we got the majority of everything on, and it's ready to just throw this in. So really, nothing much to it than to get to it, right?
Putting it in?
Yeah, let's start migrating this way, and we'll do the little thing and hook it up, and then push it over there, and hopefully it doesn't go down the driveway, and then it'll go in. Yeah, so it's been about 2 weeks it's been sitting here, and what we did is we moved over the AC compressor, and then also our power steering compressors off to the side. And then all we gotta do before that is after we get the clutch, we gotta get the clutch on, obviously, and then we'll probably grease up this a little bit, make it a little bit easier. And then I also too have to put the clutch fork in with the rod right here. I'll lube this up too, real nice, clean it up, shove it in there. It'll be sitting in there like that with the clutch fork, and then we'll be ready to roll. All right, so we got the flywheel on and the clutch. If just let you guys know, I got an ACT street clutch, so I'm pretty sure it's good enough for I think up to like 500 foot-pounds of torque. So decent amount, not crazy amount too, because this FP Green really can't do much, and also too, I want it to be a good daily driver. And yeah, got everything tight. And now it's time to officially get it over there. Got the engine bay cleared out, and I'll set you guys up, and we're gonna go ahead and just scoot this thing right on over.
You lower it
very carefully. Alright guys, so it's the next day, and I got the rest of the bell housing bolts in and the 2 nuts on the bottom. Obviously it looks a little bit different from the last clip because I just slapped over the AC and the power steering compressor. So we're good there. Kind of just tightened it up and ran some of the wires ready for the alternator that's not in yet, obviously. And I don't know, I'm kind of deciding whether I want to do the fuel lines first or the turbo. So I already have the up pipe on. I snug down all the bolts. I put the little bracket on there so it ain't going anywhere. And I put the oil feed line too for the turbo. So as you can see, the oil feed line comes out for this one right here out of the side of the head. And the stock fuel line, it's a hard line. So obviously the FP Green makes it a little too big to fit the stock fuel oil feed line. So this is the oil line that came with it. And it's got to run up something like that. Go right into the top. So that'll be good. Oil will drain, still the same. It's right down there, the little hose. But that's all ready to go, damn near. I did put the starter in as well, and the power and the grounds for that thing. And then also to my barometric pressure sensor that is required because Subaru is awesome. But that's real quick, just a little bolt bracket, that thing's on there. Connected my heater cord lines And I am still running the cylinder 4 coolant mod. If you guys can see that little T that goes down to the 4th cylinder. So next, look at these beautiful fuel lines, these fuel rails. Sheesh. Got the ID 1300s in there. It's gonna be ready to rip. Can I drive this thing already? Maybe I can start it up. No. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Let's start with the fuel lines. I'll get the fuel lines set up on the table and show you like how I'm gonna route them. And then we're just gonna send it and get it going. Alright, so this is the box that it came in IEG. Obviously I have it duct taped because I opened it freaking a year and a half ago. So this is the kit. I'm pretty sure these lines, this is like for the E85. And then this is what you would get if it for just a normal fuel line. So it has a bunch of, these are E85. These are good for E85. It has a bunch of AN fittings on either end. On each one, they're already pre-made, so they're already pre-sized and everything. It's kind of cool to have some shrink wrap on it too. I think it looks pretty good. Nothing too crazy though. A little expensive for the kit, I'll tell you that. I forgot how much I paid for it. I looked it up recently, and it's not good. But if you guys are also trying to install this kit, I will link this down in the description below too if you guys are interested in picking up with the IEG kits. Yeah, so it comes with all the lines and whatnot, all these fittings. So these fittings, these ones will go back onto your stock fuel rail. So that's kind of cool that they include that. These will go into your fuel rails. Like I said, it comes with everything. It's pretty sweet, and I'm pretty stoked about it. It's super clean setup. It's really easy. It comes right out of the box. It's ready to roll. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the feed side first, and then I'll do the return side. So the feed is the black one. There's like some sheathing around these hard lines. You have a black, and I think that one's white over there. So you have a feed and a return, and so the feed's just gonna come out. Probably gonna loop it around here. It'll Y off, and then go to each front side of the fuel rail itself. So it'll go to each front side of the fuel rail, which is pretty easy to get to. And then from there, each return is going to go to a fuel pressure regulator. So this is my fuel pressure regulator. It's Aeromotive. I forgot the exact model, but I definitely can link this down in the description below if you guys are trying to pick one of these up. Also, too, came with a an analog gauge for like a fuel pressure gauge. But also, too, I have a digital fuel pressure gauge from when I was running before. So maybe I'm thinking of whether to take this off and run it here and have the digital gauge up front, or just run the analog gauge. Either way, either one will work. And then also too, I have the flex fuel sensor from Cobb. I already know a lot of you guys watching this have hopefully already seen that Cobb came out with the update with the green speed update or whatever the heck. So this damn thing is pretty much useless, except if you do some other routes rather than using the Cobb access port. Yeah, so I have the directions that came with the fuel pressure regulator. Comes out of the feed line, goes to both fuel rails, and then comes back to the return. We'll go into both sides, and then the return back to the tank will be from the bottom, and we're going home. But for this, it's going to be going out of here to the flex fuel sensor, and then from the flex fuel sensor back to the return line, the return hard line in the car. We don't need this anymore. Pretty stoked. Let's get all this fuel line stuff ran. I want to make sure that everything's good. It comes with little fittings, little rubber fittings and stuff. Definitely don't want to go in dry. You want to dab a little bit of lube on each of the little rubber O-rings too, because fuel leaks, that sucks. You know, fuel and very hot engines, they don't mix too well. So I'm gonna get all these fittings put on, and I'm gonna show you how I have it kind of ran. Yeah, so you saw me assembling over on the bench, and now I got it in the car. It was a lot of little tedious work because these fuel lines are very rough. Like, they're hard. They're not flexible, that flexible. Obviously, right? You don't want them to be too flexible to be pinching and whatnot. And they'll be flowing some gas for sure, and some corn. But I got the fuel line, so it comes out of the 90, comes around, and then we have a Y fitting right here, and then it Y's off, and it goes to the front side of each fuel rail. So one right there, and then one right here as well. And then from the return, you have each return goes to a separate spot on the regulator. So you have one return right here, just coming back, going looping around, and it goes to the bottom fitting right there. And then for the driver's side, just loops around. Then it has a hard 180, and then goes right there. So also too, so how I'm gonna integrate my flex fuel is for the bottom return. It goes around and it does a 180 and connects to the flexible sensor. And then from there, it just comes out and goes back to the fuel tank, right? Because I'm still running the stock lines, and you know, these have these little connectors to be able to use these AN fittings and then still retain the factory fuel system, the factory hard lines going back to the gas tank. Yeah, so I put the IAG gauge on it just so, I don't know, I think it looks kind of cool. Like, you know, it kind of stands out, right? It's freaking sweet fuel pressure regulator. And then obviously right here, I'd be able to change my fuel pressure. And yeah, overall not too difficult. I did have to move the AC compressor a little bit just to get my hand up there to route it correctly, so I didn't make sure it wasn't like super kinked or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's nothing really too crazy. But fuel line's on, and I think I want to see if I have fuel pressure or if I leak, because realistically I put oil in it, fuel, turbo, and this thing's ready to start. I mean, obviously the intercooler too, but yeah, that's like the majority, that's the big thing, right? So the fuel system is one of the major components that you want to make sure it works. And also too, if you guys haven't seen the last video, yeah, so last video too, I put the Wabo 450 with the radium fuel hanger in it, and had I hardwired it too with the relay. So the back end is done, and now the front end is done with the fuel. So fuel should be good to go. Like I said, I want to test fuel pressure, or at least just prime it, right? Obviously I can't start it. I mean, maybe it'll start, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know, just prime it, see if it gets fuel pressure. All right, go ahead, just press the button. Press it again. I already pressed it. Press it again. Stop. That's a lot of fuel. All right, hold on. I just clipped it. Do it again. Press it. Yeah, press the button. All right, stop. It's dumping fuel out. Okay, so we got a little leak here. I'm gonna look at that. Right, dude, it's like, yeah, 20 bucks right there. Damn it. All right, that dumps a lot of fuel, dude. Look at that, it's already a river. Oh man, get a lighter. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. All right, that's cool. I mean, maybe it's not building enough fuel pressure for it to even do anything. So this is like really low wobbly. I'll take a look at that and then we'll see. We'll get back. All right, so that leak was, oh, there, that's one gone. Okay, well, these O-rings. So all I did is just replace the O-rings and good to go. So there's 2 O-rings inside here, and I'm assuming maybe because they were sitting so long. I mean, I put some lube on them before I put them in, but whatever. And then when that one was fixed, the other one happened. So I put new O-rings in both of them, and I'm perfectly fine. So good thing I had an O-ring kit laying around, so I was able just to grab a couple of these, slapped it right in. And the other thing too is they're probably not E85 compatible, so it's probably gotta, I don't know, I'll have to deal with it later. But I do know the fuel system is good to go. Let me just show you guys. Go ahead and turn the ignition on. So we got 40 psi fuel pressure. We got nothing leaking. Everything's looking super solid. Ready to start. Sick. So that's cool. Preset to 40 psi. I'm pretty sure that's a good pressure. I don't know. Maybe. Wait a minute. Is that fuel I smell? Maybe I should check the back. Yeah, so I'm gonna pop this too and just double check. Yeah, but fuel system's good to go. Pretty stoked on that. Heck yeah. I'll take the battery out and I'll slap the turbo back on. We'll do some more assembly. Alright, so camera shut off midway through. Getting this intake on, this turbo intake thing, oh my, this thing freaking, I was struggling on this for like an hour and a half, 2 hours damn near I feel like. But yeah, I had to unbolt the top of the intake, not the TGVs because I have all my fuel lines running and I don't want to mess with that. So I had to unbolt the intake. And I lifted it up just enough so I can have both hands underneath there and really shove it on there. That is a fight. That is a very snug fit, definitely. Some difficulties. Yeah, whoever does this without taking the intake off, good for you, because I could not do it, so I just took the intake off. But the external wastegate's on, and pipe's nice and tight. Everything's tight, bolted up. Turbo's on there, solid. Intake's on there, or turbo intake, or whatever, the turbo inlet. But yeah, it's starting to get dark, so yeah, it's starting to get a little dark, so and I'm tired, so this is probably gonna be it for the day. Yeah, intake, got the sick fuel system set up, so the whole fuel system's good. If you guys have any questions with the whole fuel system that I have, or you know what type of injectors I have, or the fuel rails, the whole fuel system, right? 1300 ID 1300cc injectors. I got let's see, the IAG fuel rails, and then IAG fuel kit, and then an Aeromotive fuel pressure regulator, and that's pretty much it. So it's pretty sweet. All IAG fuel lines and whatnot, and then that regulator, that pressure, the sensor looks pretty good. Or I can't even talk. I'm so tired. You guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, pretty stoked on that. Let's get it off. We're probably gonna pick back up tomorrow and get the downpipe on and start making this thing look more like a car. I mean, it already does, but let's button up little things. Slowly but surely, we're getting her back together. We've got to be waiting for a little bit to get the present for this. It's gonna take 4 weeks to make, so in the time being, I can take my time, go slow, and make sure everything's looking good. But yeah, that's probably getting it off for this one. Like I said, fuel system. Any questions? Got you. But we're gonna do the rest of the exhaust and get probably the front mount intercooler on next episode. So if that seems interesting, be sure to go look down below. It's probably up by now. So that's gonna be it for now. Fuel system was a little tricky, same as the turbo inlet. I just had nothing but trouble today, but it's all good. We're chucking away on this thing. Next video, we're probably doing downpipe and I'm gonna throw the front mount intercooler on and possibly the radiator and alternator. Depends on how I'm feeling that day. But once again, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Peace.